At just 16 years old, Miles Russell has achieved what seasoned professionals can only dream of, shaking the very foundations of the golf world. This isn't just another junior making waves in the amateur ranks. This is a teenager stepping onto professional tours and, in many cases, outperforming grown men. It's not hype. It's not luck. It's history unfolding before our eyes. And incredibly, this is only the beginning of what's shaping up to be a record-breaking rise. Miles Russell isn't a name from the past. It's a name you're about to hear everywhere. Born in Jacksonville Beach, Florida, this golf prodigy is climbing the ranks at a pace no one anticipated. While most kids his age are navigating high school, Miles has already made the cut at a Korn Ferry Tour event, a feat that puts him in a league of his own. What Miles Russell is doing isn't a fluke, and ESPN's breakdown of his performances makes that clear. He's delivering numbers and consistency that rival some of the game's most promising young pros. The moment he made the cut, the records started falling. Watching someone so young move with such composure feels almost surreal. He reads greens with the poise of a veteran, executes under pressure, and, most impressively, doesn't flinch under the weight of expectation. From junior circuits to real stakes on Korn Ferry and even PGA Tour-level tracks, Miles has accomplished, in the past year, what most players hope to achieve over 5. But what he did next didn't just make headlines, it etched his name into the record books and sent a message across the sport. And it's not just analysts taking notice. Former pros, sponsors, coaches, and fellow competitors are starting to quietly admit this isn't a phase. It's the arrival of a new force in golf. But here's the real question everyone's starting to ask. Are we witnessing the rise of a golf dynasty in real time? Because when the records began to fall, the golf world didn't just take notice, it stood still. If the early signs are any indication, Miles Russell isn't just making appearances, he's taking over. And this is only chapter 1. The records he's shattered, and the impossible expectations he's already met go beyond hype. This is history. What Miles has achieved before even finishing high school puts him in a category few, if any, can claim. Forget junior golf. Forget age-based milestones. This is professional-level history being made, and history doesn't wait for permission. It's created by those bold enough to chase it. So let's rewind to the moment that turned heads across the entire golf world. At just 16 years old, Miles Russell became the youngest player ever to make the cut in a Korn Ferry Tour event, doing it at the 2024 Lecom Suncoast Classic. That's not just a junior milestone, it's a professional-level breakthrough. And he didn't just survive the pressure, he thrived under it. Golf Monthly called it a historic milestone, and it's easy to see why. The Korn Ferry Tour is where future PGA champions are forged, and Miles didn't just sneak in. He proved he belonged. He made the cut and made a statement that echoed across leaderboards nationwide. But he wasn't done. What came next hadn't happened in over 4 decades. In a PGA Tour-sanctioned event, Miles finished inside the top 25, becoming the youngest to do so in 41 years. Let that sink in. This is a sport that has seen generational icons like Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy, yet even they didn't put up numbers like this at his age. That's not just a headline, it's a rewrite of what we thought was possible. In a sport obsessed with potential, Miles Russell is already delivering the future. Miles Russell is delivering results most players only dream of, and while talent is part of the story, this goes much deeper. This is poise. This is execution. This is the kind of performance that separates prodigies from future legends. While most players spend years learning how to hold their nerve under pressure, Miles showed up at 16 and played like he'd been on tour for a decade. This isn't just a story about youth. It's about composure under fire. The context is staggering. No junior in the modern era has come close to producing results like this at this level. Not even close. And yet, the most unforgettable moment of his season hadn't even happened. Because as jaw-dropping as the records were, It was what happened next, at one of the most prestigious junior events in the world, that sent the entire golf world into complete disbelief. Because what happened at Sage Valley changed everything. Just when it seemed Miles Russell couldn't raise the bar any higher, he stepped into one of the most prestigious junior tournaments in the world and rewrote the script yet again. This wasn't a feel-good underdog story. It was a declaration, a bow. Message sent loud enough to echo far beyond junior golf and deep into the heart of the professional game. The Junior Invitational at Sage Valley isn't just another event, it's the proving ground. The field is elite, the pressure relentless, every swing, every misread, every missed putt. It all matters. And heading into the final round, Miles faced a 4-shot deficit. Most would have folded, but not him. Where others saw pressure, Miles saw opportunity, and then he took it. AmateurGolf.com captured it perfectly. Miles Russell didn't just win, he hunted the lead down. Shot by shot, hole by hole, Miles Russell took Sage Valley apart with precision. The course is unforgiving, the greens brutal, the field stacked with killers, but Miles played like he had nothing to lose and everything to prove. His final round was composed, calculated, and relentless. He clawed back, stroke by stroke, quietly dismantling the gap until, on the closing holes, he didn't just catch the leaders, he took over. It was clinical. It was fearless. It was the kind of finish champions are made of. This wasn't just a comeback. It was mental warfare, and Miles walked out victorious. With every hole, he didn't just shift the leaderboard. He shifted the narrative. At 16, while most kids are worrying about grades, social media, or making varsity, Miles Russell was building a legacy, one grounded not only in talent, but in the kind of mental toughness most pros don't develop until their late 20s, if ever. This was more than a great round of golf. It was a statement of intent. And make no mistake, this win didn't happen because others fell apart. It happened because Miles Russell showed up and took it. While most young athletes would jump at the chance to wear their nation's colors, Miles Russell made a move that stunned even his closest followers. He turned down an invitation to join the U.S. Junior National Golf Team. You heard that right? He said no to representing Team USA. But according to reporting by the Florida Times-Union, it wasn't arrogance. It was strategy. Miles wasn't chasing status. He was laser-focused on a long-term vision that most players his age haven't even begun to imagine. And in doing so, he proved once again, he's not playing the same game as everyone else. Think about it. What kind of 16-year-old makes that call? What kind of teenager looks at one of the most prestigious junior golf programs in the world and says, "Not now, I've got other priorities"? Only the kind who's already thinking 5 steps ahead while everyone else is stuck on step 1. This wasn't about indifference, it was about intentionality. Miles knew that committing to certain events, team obligations, and travel schedules could slow down the path he's carving out on his own terms. That's not just raw talent, that's calculated greatness. Joining the national team would have been an honor for most, but for Miles Russell, it was a decision about the bigger picture. Accepting that spot could have limited his flexibility to compete in high-level pro events, the very opportunities that are accelerating his path to the PGA Tour. He didn't just skip a team. He protected the future he's carefully building. That's the thing about Miles. He doesn't just play like a professional, he thinks like one. And in golf, mindset is just as lethal as muscle. In his own words, Miles admitted the decision wasn't easy, but his priority was clear: focus on personal progression and maintain control over his schedule. That kind of forward thinking isn't taught, it's instinct. And it offers a glimpse into how seriously he takes this journey, not as a sprint, but as a calculated ascent. He's not chasing moments, he's engineering momentum. So here's the real question. What kind of 16-year-old turns down Team USA to stay on their own path? The kind who already knows exactly where he's going and isn't waiting for permission to get there. Miles Russell understands that pressure is coming, and he's preparing for it like a seasoned veteran. He's not trying to impress the system. He's looking to redefine it. And that's exactly what he's doing. But now that the expectations are sky high, the real question is, can he handle it? Miles Russell has already made history. He's broken records, silenced doubters, and turned the golf world upside down. But now, the question every prodigy faces eventually has arrived. Can he handle the pressure of what comes next? Because greatness isn't just earned once. It has to be defended every time you tee off. The spotlight that once felt like a celebration is starting to burn a little hotter. And in a game like golf, too much light can cast long shadows. From the moment he made the cut at the Lecom Suncoast Classic to the moment he hoisted the trophy at Sage Valley, the media hasn't taken its eyes off him. Golf Monthly and ESPN have. Both described. His rise has been described as historic, electrifying, even unprecedented. But with those headlines come expectations, and with expectations come comparisons, the fastest way to turn potential into pressure. Miles is already being talked about in the same breath as Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, and Jordan Spieth. Not because he's matched their careers, but because he's outpaced where they were at his age. And that's a dangerous comparison to live under. Talent might open doors, but pressure can slam them shut just as quickly. The world doesn't wait to see if you're ready. It just watches to see if you'll break. And in today's world, where social media runs rampant, where every swing is analyzed, and where the what's next culture reigns, Miles Russell is a 16-year-old carrying the weight of an entire sport on his shoulders. And make no mistake, golf is unforgiving. One bad year, one mental dip, and all those records, all those headlines, they'll fade into the background, forgotten. But here's the reality. Legacy isn't written in headlines. It's built under silence, stress, and scrutiny. And here's the thing about Miles Russell. He knows that. He's not pretending it's going to be easy. He's not chasing the limelight. He's building quietly, intentionally, just like he always has. And maybe that's what sets him apart. He doesn't need to tell the world who he is. He shows